So we're going to start off with the rate of change, and that's how a quantity is changing with respect to the change of another quantity. So normally we think of it as the change of y over the change of x. So if I'm looking at this, my y values are the pancakes, my x values are the flour. So you might remember rate of change, things like that. So change in y over the change in x. So we're talking about the number of pancakes over, I should say, what do I want to say? Cups of flour. Flour, right? But that's the change in them. So it wants to know the difference between 1 to 1. So if I look at this, that goes up by 12. This goes up by 12. This goes up by 2. This goes up by 2. So the change in the pancakes is 12. The change in the cups of flour is 2. So I simplify my fraction and I get 6 pancakes per cup of flour. Okay, next one. Over here, still doing change of y over the change of x. So the change in the cost, the money, over the change of the gallons of gas. Okay, so, and no, I can't do that in my brain. So I'm going to take 1992 and I'm going to subtract 1577 to find out what the change is. $4.15. Okay, over here, I should be able to do this in my head, and I just did not do that. Okay, so we went up on both of these by that. So 415 over 125, and I've got $3.32 per gallon of gas. And somebody's going to say, well, do I have to use the first two? No, I could have used the second two if I wanted to. 24.07 minus 1992. Oh, look at that. It's also 415. And this is also $1.25. Okay? So you can use any set you want. I could have done from the very tippy top if I wanted to. 28.22 minus 1577, I would have gotten 12.45. So that's 1245 over, and then done from here to here, 8.5. Oh, I should have done this in my head, but that's okay. 375. So I take the 1245 and I do not subtract. I divide by 375. And again, I'm going to get $3.32 per gallon of gas. And since it's the same rate of change, guess what? We have a line. So we're going to compare the rates. So here we're talking about Jackson High School student canceled budget. Okay, so slope. Remember the change in y. So how far up did it go? Okay, it's telling you they should have done this better. This should have been the point 2000, comma that, but that's okay. So how far up did it go? Okay, so 1675, oops, helps if you put it in correctly into the calculator, minus 1350, you're going to get 325. How far across did it go? Well, let's look here at the bottom. We're looking at year 2000 to year 2005. That's 5 years. So we've got 325 over 5, and that's going to get $65 per year. Now, that's from 2000 to 2005. Okay, so now we have to look at here. Notice how it's going down. So this is going to be in the negative direction. Okay, so from 2005 to 2010, what has it done? So we know it's 5 here. So 1550 minus 1675, it's gone down $125. So negative 125 over 5 means that they've lost $25 per year. And I shouldn't have said lost. I really shouldn't have used the word loss. $25 per year less. Maybe that. Okay? And last but certainly not least, we're still going down here. Okay, so we still went down here, and that's from year 2010 to 2015. Okay, it's still over 5. Okay, so 1325. Oops, again, calculator. Subtracting, again, I could have done this in my brain. 225. Okay, so now it's $45 per year less. So, okay, so they did really well getting $65 per year from 2000 to 2005, but then they went down $25 per year, and then now they're down $45 per year compared to year 2000. Okay, nice. So now we're going to look at the Miami Dolphins. Okay, so we're going to look from years 2008, 2009. So that's 1 year. So that would be divided by 1. So we really don't need to do, it's only, oh, is it 1 year? Yeah, it's 1 year. So how much did it go up by? 66.74 minus 66. Oh, really? I did the calculator again, but that's okay. So, and that's 63 cents per year. Okay, let's look again. So now we're doing 2009 to 2010. Again, it's by 1 year. So all we have to, this is 1. That was 1. So 70.54 minus 66.74. $3.80 per year. Then look at this one. Oh, we went down a little bit. Okay, this is how much is that for 1 year? Okay, yeah, it's 2010 to 2011. So they are going from 70.32 minus 70.54. So their prices went down by 22 cents. I should say in 1 year. Okay, let's see. We're going to do 2011, 2012. This time it went up. So 71.14 minus, oh, another one I could have done in my head. That's okay. 82 cents per year. So this is up. And then last but not least, ooh, look at this. It went on a downfall. So that definitely went down. So 2012, oh no, oh no, I skipped 2012 to 2013. It stayed the same. So there's zero rate, there's a 0 per year change. Okay, and now last but not least, we'll do brown. Okay, so 2013 to 2014, it went down a whole lot. So on this one, 65.16 minus 71.14. So it went down $5.98 per year. Okay, nice. Okay, so if we were looking at the price change between 2008 and 2014, the price is lower in 2014 than it is in 2008. Okay, is this linear? Well, that means the rate of the change is the same. So this went up by 2, this went up by 2, this went up by 2, up by 2. Awesome, that did that, but we have to look at the x's also. This went down by 3, down by 3, down by 3, down by 3. So each one of these would be 2, negative 2/3. So yes, they are. It is linear. This one went up by 3, up by 2, up by 3, and up by 2. Some of you might be saying, oh, no, it's not linear. It didn't go up by the same amount. But you have to be careful. Did it go up by the same amount on this side? This went up plus 7, plus 7, plus 7, plus 7. So that side went up the same. So 3 over 7 and 2 over 7. So no, it is not linear. So this says it is linear and it wants to know what the blanks are. So we need to know how much it goes up by. So if I'm looking at this went up 10.75 minus 7.5. It goes up 3.25. And this went up by, nope, it went down by 0.5. Okay, so 3.25 over negative 0.5. So for each one, it goes down. For if it were going by 1, it goes down by 6.25. But look at this. This went down by 0.5. So that means this is going to go up by 3.25. So all I do is take the 1075 and I add on 3.25 to get this to 14. This went by 0.5 also, so I'm going to go back 3.25. So 7.5 minus 3.25 to get 4.25. Well, if I subtract 3.25 here, that got me to 1. So that means that this went back. This is going to go up. And this is also back by 3.5, so this is back or up to 12. Okay, slope. Slope and rate of change are basically the same thing. Instead of saying the change of y over the change of x, we're going, well, it is the change of y over the change of x, but you're going to use the formula. You subtract the y values and you subtract the x values. Okay? How much did you go up or down, and how much did you go right to left? So, the slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, if you want to write x1, y1, oops, I didn't mean to do that, x2, y2, that's perfectly fine. So I subtract 7 minus 4 over 1 minus negative 3. I get 3 over, that turns to, and I get 3 over 4. Here, I did the exact same thing. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. So I take 10 minus 8, and I take 7 minus negative 1. So I get 2 over 8, which simplifies to 1/4. Okay, come down to this one. We do the same thing, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. So I take 1 minus a negative 4 over 0 minus 5. This would get me, is that a 5 on top? That's a 5 on top. Negative 5 on bottom, so that gets me negative 1. Okay, we're going to come over to this one. Again, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, 1, y1, x2, y2. Negative 2 minus 4 over negative 3 minus negative 3. So I get negative 6 over 0. That would be undefined. You can never have a 0 in the denominator. I'll do this one. y2 minus minus y1, x2 minus x1, y1, x2. You do not need to write that part. I do that just to help. You also can subtract them in different orders. This would turn to a plus, so I would get 0 over 6, so that would be 0. You can have 0 in the numerator because 0 divided by any number is 0. Now, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. x1, y1, x2, y2, and the slope. So I'm going to replace the slope with 3/4. Then I have r minus 5 over 4 minus negative 4. So 3/4 r minus 5 over 8. And we just did proportions, so I multiply these two together, get 24. Multiply these two together, I get 4 times r minus 5. I add 20 to both sides. I do not get 24. I get 44 equals 4r. Divide by 4 and get 11 equals r. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. M equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. Ooh, I don't want that as a mixed number. So I multiply this, that's 10. I add this, so that is 12 over 5. So that's my m value. So I replace. So 12 over 5 equals negative 6 minus r, 7 minus negative 3. So I get 12 over 5 equals negative 6 minus r over 10. I multiply and I get 120. I multiply, I get 5 times the quantity, negative 6 minus r, negative 30 minus 5r. Add 30 to both sides. I get 150 equals negative 5r. Divide by negative 5. Get negative 30 is equal to r. Okay, so if I'm looking at this right here, what's the slope? So x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope equals negative 2700 minus negative 65 over 125 minus 75. So 5 minus, we get negative 2635 over, it should be 50, but I'm just making sure. So let's see, 2635 divided by negative 52.7. Okay,